Episode 165, Exercise, Micro Habits.
You're listening to the very best podcast in the world on health, wealth, and happiness. Please remember to leave a review and share with all your friends and family. And here is your host, Lars Hilser.
And it's finally fucking Friday, FFF, the triple F. And welcome to the very best podcast in the world, your only source in the universe for personal supremacy through health, wealth, and happiness. And yeah, there we go. Another week in the box. Every day an episode. Become so fucking diligent without, I think I haven't missed an episode yet. Ever. And it's almost been a year, or at least 3/4 of a year. And this has been really an interesting project so far. And keeping my curiosity and my interest in something for longer is, I don't know, anywhere between difficult to impossible. So keep the feedback coming, because that's kind of like a motivator to keep it going. Email the very best podcast in the world at gmail.com. Also, if you have questions for the podcast, perhaps your question is going to be, when is the sharing is caring finally going to fucking stop? It will never stop. So here we go into housekeeping, where sharing is motherfucking caring. And if this episode or any other episode, perhaps in the past, wasn't totally interesting to you, but you talk to someone that says, I've got a problem with this and that, or whatever, share the episode with them, please, because the more listeners we get, the more interesting everything becomes, the more feedback comes in, the more motivated. Well, it's not that hard to motivate me, really, but an email occasionally will do the job. So in that sense, please keep it coming. Please share, because a lot of good things have come around. The exercise episodes in particular have helped, I don't know, probably hundreds of people by now. I've got, really, really dozens of emails on that exercise was great. And, one of the best ones was, hey, this is the coolest ass exercise in the world because I don't need to move my ass. Those kind of things are really as much entertaining as they are rewarding, because, I set out to really just piss people off, all of these motivational gurus, with, making a persiflage about them and sarcastically really trying to keep people from falling for them. But this format has really immediately received feedback which was totally to the contrary of what I was expecting. I was expecting these jerk-offs to write life-threatening emails, and they didn't. And instead I got, very positive feedback in the first round from friends that said, hey, man, this is cool. Really, really good, well-told examples, and, easy to follow, interesting format, because it's, not elongated over hours. It's very brief, down to the point, no bullshit, can easily listen to it in the car in the morning, picks me up, and so much more. And so, yeah, if an episode is not only for you, but you say, hey, this could be interesting for someone else to listen to, make sure to share it with them, for them to be able to also become subscribers and make this show grow. Why do I want it to grow? No idea, because as you have probably witnessed, there's no real income for me. So this time I invest is, purely altruistic. And I don't know, maybe I'm just a good person. Anyhow, long story short, today we're going to talk about micro habits. And we're going to analyze quite a few of them and the reasons why they're good and the way you can actually achieve goals by kind of tricking your mind. It's a lot about framing and kind of jackassing yourself. So why are micro habits good? Well, there's a reason we often fail to build habits. And the main reason for those habits to fail is because usually we attach unsustainable goals, right? And let me give you one core example. A lot of these, get rich quick assholes are going to tell you that, Elon Musk does an hour of exercise in the morning, or that, and then maybe an hour at noon and whatever. And the CEO of Buttfuck Incorporated does 3 hours of meditation per day. And I don't know, whatever, singer, songwriter, whomever, goes on regular vacations once a month to kind of detach from the real world. Notice the fucking problem. All of these people that are always being displayed are insanely wealthy. So they have the time because they can buy the time. They've got the freedom of time, which is insanely important. And it's easy for them to take out, an hour or 3 hours of their day to keep themselves physically fit. That's reason number one. Reason number two, when you start out and you say, okay, I want to do an hour of exercise per day, you're not going to be at the fitness level to actually do that. And, you should see me when I when I go to walk in the woods with a pooch. I'm wasted, when I do my 2 kilometers, because some asshole built mountains here. The place I used to live in, it was so flat. You could see on Friday who was going to visit you on Monday. I mean, that flat. And so some asshole put mountains here, well, hills, as other people say. I call them mountains. And so with these 2 kilometers, it's up and down, around, and I'm totally fucking wasted when I get back. I got to take a shower, right? So it's 20 minutes, 2 kilometers, or 30 minutes. My better half needs 20, but she's fit. So, it's like, you're not going to be at the level. So you're going to frustrate yourself when you want to do an hour of exercise per day. Not to mention that for a lot of people, it's going to be insanely difficult to carve out an hour, plus getting dressed, plus having your shower afterwards, plus your protein shake. You're going to be at 2 hours if you want to do 1 hour of raw exercise. If you don't want to rush it, right? So that being said, this is just one example of a lot of things that people want to do as habits, but they fail because the goals are unsustainable. And even if you are able to cut out an hour of your time on Monday to do your exercise, I don't know how your Tuesday is going to be. Do you have to go to a PDA meeting, and then you're kind of fucked up because, hey, damn, I was at this fucking meeting and I didn't get my exercise today. So you're frustrated and then you quit altogether. So rather than doing that and trying to set these really high goals, try micro habits instead. They can make it significantly easier. So for instance, instead of this 1 hour of exercise, try to do 4 sets of 15 minutes. Number one, you're not going to be so exhausted, right? You're going to get your heart rate up. You're going to get motivated. You're going to do something for your body. But instead of doing this 1 hour chunk, do it 4 times a day. No, of course, depending on your fitness level, you may have to shower 4 times a day, which of course will destroy the entire fucking calculation. But at least, you're not going to be able to say, okay, I missed my exercise entirely, right? Because you've got these 4 different times of the day where you do a little bit, and then if you have your PTA meeting at night and you miss your last 1 or 2 blocks of exercise, it's not going to be a total failure, right? Because you will have done something. Now, the same, for instance, is, try reading 15 minutes 3 times a day, right? Instead of just sitting down and getting lost in a book for hours and then waking up and you're like, shit, 2 hours have passed. So, 15-minute reading is totally important. And I'm not going to go into why that is. There are episodes already that I recorded about why reading is important. But it is fucking important, trust me. So, instead of doing that, try, just 15 minutes in the morning, reading the morning news. No, don't watch them. God damn it. Don't turn on the fucking television, watch the news. Try and get your own sources. Read a blog, from some, anywhere between conspiracy theorists and the mass media. There's a good middle, if you kind of weigh that out. And then, I don't know, at lunchtime, read another 15 minutes and another 15 minutes before you go to bed. So, there's a lot of people that, I don't have any time to read. You do, and if it is while you're taking a shit, most of us guys are going to sit, 10 minutes at least on the shitter. So it's like, why not use the time wisely? And instead of playing some fucking video game, read, right? So, next idea that I came across is 45 minutes of side hustling twice a day. And that's something very important because I know that a lot of you are at a situation where you're saying, this job that I'm doing, now I'm doing it. Now it's even worse because I'm doing it at home. Right. So it's insanely difficult to keep motivated. Yesterday we did this episode about how to make a home out of your house, right? But a lot of people don't really get there because they're not interested. You've got the kids jumping around on your head while you're in the home office. You've got this and that and that and that going on, and you are unable to just detach. So when the pandemic began, it was like a lot of German hotels were renting out rooms as quote unquote day home offices. So imagine that. That was interesting. You're so desperate to get away from home that you rent a hotel room, not to get laid by a hooker, but you actually go there to work with peace of mind. So, that being the current situation of your job, maybe, it's time to change. Maybe, you want to work on your financial freedom strategy, right? And thing is, doing that is, anyhow, I'm not going to waste a lot of words on it. Go back to episode 40. That's the financial freedom exercise episode. Go there, listen to that. You'll get an understanding of what I'm saying. And investing 1.5 hours per day divided by 2 into 2 times 45 minutes, morning and evening, will give you a pretty good opportunity to make an extra income and reorient yourself, rediscover yourself, perhaps, where you may want to go job-wise. The internet has so many possibilities, has opened so many possibilities for everyone in every nation to earn money equally. It's been this equalizer of really giving everyone equal opportunity in a variety of ways. We're far from perfection, but let's be fucking hands down, right? We're far from perfect, but it's leveled the playing field significantly. I mentioned in one episode where I talked to this doctor who belonged to one of the lowest castes in India, and his kid, had no opportunity to go to any real schooling. I don't know how he did it, but anyhow, his kid couldn't at all, at least not in India, and he couldn't afford to send the kid abroad. So anyway, the kid, sat down with the kid and really talked to him and told the dad to, about this internet thing and how he can make money and, pursue his dreams outside of the system. And I think it went quite well. Not really had the chance to catch up with him lately. Anyhow, what I'm trying to convey here is something you want to do desperately, and you need to invest a certain amount of time into, is like taking a massive project, which you inevitably need to break down into smaller chunks, to make it manageable. And the same is, unless you're insanely wealthy and have the freedom of time, it's very important. You can buy that or you can make that for yourself. Then you need to kind of divide those habits that you want to get to improve your life into smaller chunks and integrate them into your day a little bit more flexibly than you could had you real freedom, right? So start with these, micro habits, and then carry on to, whatever you want to do, whatever habit you want to include into your day, and try to really cut it down into smaller pieces. And then, it's going to be easier to integrate into your day. Speaking of the day, have a good one and have a good weekend, and experiment with what I just said. Let me know how it's going for you. If you want to, write an email to theverybestpodcastintheworld@gmail.com. And in that sense, I'm going to wish you a happy, nice, successful, relaxing weekend. And on Monday, we're going to be back and we're going to be talking about failing your way to success. Have a nice weekend. Peace out.